Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Robert's devilish smile means it's the 4th and 1 podcast, live from Lancaster, Lidditz, and Williamstown, Pennsylvania. Everywhere you get your podcast at 4th and 1 podcast, Instagram at 4th and 1 podcast, TikTok 4th and 1 pod. It's a busy week. We got a lot going on. And we're going to introduce to you a little new segment because there's a lot going on. And Robert's going to give you a little bit of what you missed in the past 5 weeks with what's going on. Robert?
5 weeks?
You don't have to recap
I thought this was a new section for like what happened this week.
Well, I mean,
I don't have 5 weeks of material.
I mean, to be fair, like all the stuff that's important that's happened the last 5 weeks has happened in the past 7 days. So,
Robert, you better go back in time.
Holy smokes!
You better go back in time and start making a list.
You want some news? I'll give you some news. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Buckle up. Big Ten SEC partnership. That's in the works of happening. Don't know if it's actually going to happen because the Big Ten is very stingy when it comes to 9 conference opponents. Yep. Because the SEC likes to pick on teams that aren't good. The Big Ten currently is changing its protocol when it comes to onside kicks. Obviously, because Michigan wins on a snafu offside penalty on an onside kick. You know, hey,
can't have them win again.
We'll take
can't
it,
have the cheaters win. How dare us?
Lots of movement within the Mountain West Conference and the Pac-12 Conference. The Pac-12 officially is bringing in Gonzaga for all sports, but they don't technically have a football team, but they do have a really good basketball team. And UTEP making their return to the Mountain West Conference.
Oh, return.
Guess who's back?
Yep.
Back again.
Yep. Good old Texas El Paso coming on back.
UTEP's back.
Yep.
Tell a friend.
I mean, that's all I got right now.
Well, that's basically, I didn't know if we missed anything. Oh, I found it interesting. I saw this. Perdon't fired their coordinator mid-season. Do not remember his name, but from here on out, I'm going to find it after I make my locks of the week and go 3-0 again. Spoiler alert. Our super relative for the season that is most likely to get fired by week 6 will now be the so-and-so memorial most likely to get fired by week 6.
I have news that I forgot that I wanted to yell about on the podcast.
Okay.
Well, it's not really news. It's just that the Charlie Baker, the commissioner or the president of the NCAA, urges Congress to help, right? He doesn't know what to do about these NIL regulations. He's urging Congress to help. Dude, you in charge. You help.
Well, technically, this is Congress's fault. Because Congress is the one who overruled everything and said, nope, you have to do this NIL.
Right.
But any decisions they have to be in accordance with Congress. So technically, Congress is like the holder of this. He can say this is what needs to happen, but he doesn't want to get sued anymore.
But he's not. Well, and that's it. Because they're the NCAA, he's not even trying, right? Like he's not even attempting an effort. Like no one's attempting an effort. Like Rob, you could go up in there, have 3 grand ideas that would work for everybody immediately. Nope. He could have the idea to try to form a collective bargaining agreement. Nope. This is an organization that was so stuck in their ways, and instead of adapting, they just decided to dig their heels in more. And then once they got sued, they decided to countersue, and that just went horrible for everyone. Now they're going to have to pay almost $3 billion to these athletes and former athletes because they just dug their heels in because of rules that Congress made. But instead of actually trying to do something, you just complain and ask for help and a government bailout. Dude, you're the adult in the room. Figure something out, Charlie Baker. What are you doing?
I mean, I know what you're saying, but like, it's the right move. Like that's
It's the right move to do nothing?
No, it's the right move to ask Congress. He can't do anything.
He's not even trying to do something.
I would rather have him try. Can't, though.
I would rather have him try and get sued than not try at all.
Me doing something at work because I know I can't. I can't go to a certain level and do things at work. I can't control payroll.
Yeah, but this is. He doesn't. But he's not being asked to control payroll. He's just asked to put regulations on when the payroll is going to happen.
Regulation on payroll,
and he can't even do that.
Right, because every time.
No, because it doesn't matter though.
But it does though.
No, it doesn't.
Can't do anything. He could try as many things as he wants to try. What always ends up happening though is they turn around, they sue, and they say you can't do this. Because there is no way to do everything unless you get Congress involved. No one's going to sue Congress and win.
Right. So then let's bring in the organization and the government organization that has just run the current bigger NCAA, which is America, just flat into the ground and can't agree on anything. Yeah, let's get them involved. No.
What's the difference between them and the NCAA?
The NCAA. At least the NCAA is a little more connected to the actual problem that's going on.
Now they are after 2 years.
Yeah, after 2 years. Exactly. I'm not talking about the NCAA being a day late and a dollar.
Let's also go ahead and it took someone to lie about money in order for the NCAA to be like, hey, maybe we should do something about this. Second college, might I add, about money.
Yeah.
Versus Florida.
Okay, listen, however we got here, it doesn't really matter. We're here now. So now you need to do something. And the cop-out of just asking for Congress to make these regulations, and you're not even trying to make regulations. You're not even trying to have a structure. You're just being like, you know what? It's the wild, wild west. You want to come over and try to fix this? No, you're still going to argue about this for the next 8 years? This is going to get worse? Oh, right. No, I should do something? Me? No, I can't do anything. I need you to do it. Yeah. You come over. No. And meanwhile, this over here is just on fire and burning. And meanwhile, the adult with the fire extinguisher is sitting right there, just asking the firefighter down the street, who's the most incompetent
person to do it.
Incompetent person, 500-pound firefighter, moseying along, walking the slowest up to put out the fire when he can just right there. Get out of town.
Listen, I get your frustration.
Get out of here.
I get your frustration. But listen, it's the right move. He has to do it.
It's not the right move.
Him doing something is something that should have happened 2 or 3 years ago before, like when everything kind of took circle.
Right.
Now he can't do that, though.
No, he can. He just doesn't want to.
He can't. Because he gets sued if he does.
Who can? What has he tried to do that he has gotten sued?
Everything.
Okay,
Everything
no,
the NCAA does gets sued.
No. Yes, because they were trying to dig their heels in. Now I'm saying stop trying to dig your heels in and actually trying to go with the flow and actually try to regulate it. He got sued over digging his heels in, saying, no, they can't be paid. No, they can only transfer one time. Okay. So now just make rules around it. Clearly, kids can transfer however many they want, so put rules around it. Put a little bit of restrictions on it. They dug your heels in about kids getting paid. Now they got sued over it. Okay, fine. Then put rules and regulations about kids being paid. Put protection in about whether kids are allowed to use agents or what kind of agents or what kind of agencies. He got sued over digging his heels in. He didn't get sued over trying to create a new environment for these kids. So start creating a new environment and see if you get sued.
But now he's going and saying, okay, I'll loosen the reins, but Congress caused this issue. So I'm going to say, hey, you guys caused this. You guys want to put all the rules and everything else along with it. You guys tell me what you think is the right thing to do, because I obviously don't know what to do.
Because he's an idiot.
I mean, he might be an idiot, but he's also turning around and he's saying, listen, take care of this.
Right, but that's not like he should be the one taking care of it.
All right, I'm going to reel you guys
taking
in.
care of it.
No, it's not.
I'm going to reel you guys in. We're at 10 minutes. We're at 10 minutes. We got a lot to get through. You both made very good points. Thank you very much. I appreciated that. Couple things. Just one thing. Micaiah, he's basically a commissioner. You have to remember that. The schools will just fire him if they don't like what he has to say. And he's also not just a football commissioner. However, he is just a football commissioner. Let's be honest. So, with that being said, fun facts while you guys were doing your little thing. It is now the Graham Harrell Award for most likely to get fired for week 6. Graham Harrell went to Texas Tech he graduated in 2008. Do you know his wide receiver? Trivia for you guys. Wide receiver
Michael
in
Crabtree.
2008. Michael Crabtree himself. Mike Leach was fired next year. You know who his inside wide receivers coach was in 2008? Michael Crabtree's wide receivers coach. Texas Tech, 2008.
No.
Robert?
Oh, brother, you're asking the wrong person when it comes to that. Makai's the one who knows
Riley himself before he went
that
to
makes sense.
Before he went to East Carolina. Yep. Lots to get through. Micaiah, we're going to do this at the same time. Let's look at the AP Top 25. We're in week 5. We've played about 5 games, give or take. Some teams, and Micaiah's made a little tier list for us, which I appreciate. While he pulls that up, when does the
Thanks, Rob.
Thanks, Robert. When does the first college football playoff selection come out?
November.
November. So we are now in October. Everybody, welcome to spooky season. And here we are. We have 26 ranked teams. Congratulations.
Yeah.
We have 2 tied for 25th. Texas A&M and UNLV. More on UNLV later. This is a pretty good tier list. We got some natty winners. Semifinals makers can win a playoff game in the B tier slot, can make the playoffs in the C tier slot, and in the D tier slot can be considered to make the playoffs, I would assume. Micaiah, Army is in the can be considered to make the playoffs.
Navy should also be in there. You know, I made it just real hastily, and then I decided to look at it after the fact.
It's a great tier list. I love Boise State's old logo you got going on.
Thanks. Yeah. So obviously the natty winners: Georgia, Alabama, Texas.
Ranked 1, 2, and 5 respectively. Currently.
Yeah, would like to see Texas get punched in the mouth, but Alabama, Georgia, game of the year so far. Semifinal maker: I have Ohio State, Tennessee, Penn State, Oregon. Again, none of these 4 teams have been punched in the mouth yet either.
3, 4, 6, and 7. I would disagree with you. I think Idaho smacked them pretty hard in the mouth week 2.
Can win a playoff game, so make the playoff, maybe win the one that's at home. If they get, they probably won't get a first round bye. That's Missouri. Miami turns the ball over a lot. Clemson's kind of made a rebound, found an offense. SC, despite their loss to this team here, Michigan, I really like both their defense and Miller Moss right now. And then Ole Miss got smacked in the mouth by Kentucky. But I still think it's a learning opportunity until they lose another one. I would put them there.
Okay. Missouri, 9, Miami 8, Clemson 15, USC is 11. Don't love them ranked there. Ole Miss did they fall out or are they just at the bottom of the list?
They're 12.
They're 12. Don't love them ranked there either. This was for Ole Miss. Let's talk about Ole Miss for a hot second. This was their first real game this year that they had. They lost to Kentucky, who I believe was 2-3 at the time. I don't know what that makes them now. If I'm good at my job, they're 3-2. So they were 2-2 at the time. They lost 20-17. Lots of movement in the later half of that game. I unfortunately did not get to watch it. Robert, since it's Micaiah's tier list, is this kind of like a fake or not fake situation for Ole Miss? Would you expect more of the same later on from Lane Kiffin?
It's kind of hard to say because they played a Kentucky team that also only lost to Georgia by 1. Like, I think that I don't know, because this team it was a weird game, and it is very Lane Kiffin like to lose to just like a random Kentucky team. Now, do they finish with only 1 loss? That's kind of up to them, but I don't know if they're fake yet, just because that Kentucky team is decent, but I don't know. If they lose another one, then then they're faker than fake.
So I don't know. They take on Robert's official answer. I don't know.
I don't know. It's weird. Like, that was such a weird game to watch, and they lost because they can't kick a field goal.
Well, I mean, they have another stout defense this year. This week, they go into South Carolina to play some Beamer ball with the Gamecocks. So we'll see. They have South Carolina, LSU, Oklahoma, their next 3. So tough games: Arkansas, Georgia, Florida, Mississippi State. So at least that Georgia game will be tough for them after that next 3 that they got. Moving on to the can make the playoffs teams. Micaiah, you have Notre Dame in that list. Kind of silent since their loss to, I don't remember even who they lost to. They're 4-1, but they're a sneaky 4-1. I feel like.
They lost to Northern Illinois,
Thank you.
Who hasn't won since they beat Notre Dame.
Fun fact.
And then
really bad loss for them right now.
But they beat this team right here, Louisville, who is also ranked. They have USC still on their schedule. I think they have Clemson still on their schedule. So
nope,
no Clemson on their schedule. Just kidding. But they do have some kind of. Especially with USC down the run, they have
a
ranked.
Pretty good Georgia Tech team, obviously a Navy team who I believe is currently unbeaten as well.
Yeah.
I'd say Florida State, but no. Army, again, unbeaten currently. Army and USC is their last game of the season.
Yeah, so I think that just their schedule kind of sets up. Again, this is can win a playoff game, not will win a playoff game. Michigan, again, shows progression. Their running game is too hot and cold, and Alex Orji needs to continue to throw a lot. Utah depends. If they have Cam Rising, they'll probably win. If they don't have Cam Rising, they probably can't. LSU needs to find a defense. JMU is in there. 63 points against, again, Ball State, but they dropped 70 on, what was that, North Carolina. And then can be considered, these are just super hot teams right now. Indiana, K-State after a loss, SMU after a week 0 loss, Rutgers is undefeated, Iowa always plays good defense, and then Army we talked about.
So I'm interested here.
Are you raising your hand, Robert?
I'm just ready to make a point.
Go ahead.
Where's BYU?
Yeah, again, I was saying, I forgot a few teams, okay?
So,
I forgot Navy on here. Like Navy should be on here.
So, and to the point, to Robert's point, you don't have currently 16 ranked undefeated Iowa State who beat
I don't believe team. Yeah, but I don't believe in Iowa State, so that's fine.
Cool, let's talk about that later. You obviously don't have Illinois on there either, or Texas A&M. These are teams that are ranked, by the way.
Yeah.
So you also don't have an undefeated new quarterback, 4-0 UNLV. Robert?
I mean, I guess you can put Colorado to be considered.
Yeah. I mean, you can put a lot of teams.
Really.
You can put a lot of teams in here.
Vote. So the other teams, Oklahoma State obviously dropped out. We'll talk about them here in a second. Other teams receiving vote for the top 25: Arizona, Pittsburgh, Nebraska, Boston College, Iowa, JMU, South Carolina, Oklahoma State, who did drop, Rutgers, Navy, Kentucky, SMU, Army, and Colorado. Again, we have 26 teams in the top 25. UNLV and Texas A&M all got 122 points.
I did forget UNLV, Navy, and BYU. That's on me. I would put Navy, BYU, and UNLV all to can be considered.
So, I can't give you. Can I give you the playoff if they were to start today? Like
there should be a
playoff
playoff
on
predictor.
ESPN somewhere. Yeah, so I think it would be Texas, Alabama. I'm not gonna. That one's a horrible. The playoff predictor. So let me just give you guys before we move on to our next section, which will be our longest section. Alabama is the new number 1. They jump up 3 spots, leaping Texas, who's now number 2. Ohio State stays in the same place at number 3. Tennessee is up 1 spot to 4. That means Georgia's down to 5 now. Oregon and Penn State both jump 2 to 6 and 7. Miami falls 1 point with old man Cam Ward out there, and I only call him old man because he's out there just chilling, just owning the place at 8. Missouri is at 9. Again, Missouri kind of sneaking under the radar in the SEC again, but granted, they probably just played their first conference game. Michigan at 10, USC and Ole Miss at 11 and 12, which would technically put, that would roughly be, Notre Dame would be the first non-conference, highest ranked non-conference, non-power 4. So that would put them in the playoff too, correct? Right now, if the playoffs were to start today, bumping out who would be number 12 Ole Miss. Am I remembering this correctly?
No.
Gentlemen?
So like right now, like I picked this one. Here's just something I set up.
Okay, is screen sharing for our listeners.
So here's what I set up. Basically, I took Texas, and you just take Texas and you just pick. So I said they'll beat Oklahoma, they'll lose to Georgia, they'll beat Texas A&M. I said that they would lose their conference championship game. Okay.
This is on ESPN. Their playoff.
Yeah, and this
predictor.
is what it spit out. It spit out Bama 1, Ohio State 2, Miami 3. 4 would be Boise State, 5 would be Georgia, 6 would be Texas, 7 would be Indiana currently, 8 would be Notre Dame, 9 Ole Miss, 10 Penn State, 11 Oregon, and 12 would be Liberty.
Okay.
That's just right now.
So walk me through this. This is their playoff predictor, but that doesn't make any sense.
Why?
Because Liberty is unranked.
Right,
Boise
but
State.
So they're saying right now that Boise State is like the best non-power 4 team.
Correct.
And they're saying that the conference champion winner of the Big 12 would have been whoever.
Would have been.
They're not on the list.
They're not on the list.
So,
yeah.
So they're saying that right now there wouldn't be any Big 12 team.
So your
Better.
if the playoffs started today wouldn't work. I am right per usual. Actually, not per usual. I'm right for once. Notre Dame would be the first team in. If you don't count Notre Dame, the first non-power would be Boise State currently at 20, currently ranked at 21. So first team out would be Ole Miss. First team in would either be Notre Dame or Boise State, depending on how we look at it. I'm currently looking at it. So, that's your preview. We're 5 weeks in. We are 5 weeks in, right? If you include, we're technically on week 5, but we're 5 weeks in.
We're going into week 6.
So we're going into week 6. So we're going into the halfway mark. Am I correct in that for the regular season? Week 0
yes.
always throws me off. This is why I'm asking.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're going into week 6. Yes.
All right, perfect. So we're going into week 6. So we're about halfway through. Thought it was good to recap. And we've been playing some fun games. We've been playing, overrated, underrated. We've been giving out report cards. You got report cards last week. And today we're going to play a fun game. We had a lot of different games, a lot of close games that for our predictions shouldn't have been close. We had a lot of not close games that we were expecting to be closer. See UNLV v Fresno State. And so we're going to play a game of fake or not fake. And
ladies and gentlemen, these are all just the same games. He just gives them different names, just letting you know.
Micaiah, you don't have to spell it out. I was just thinking that today. I think our fans are wise enough to know. that these are all just the same games with different names, and we're just having fun with it and trying
I
to
don't know.
be
We let
entertaining
Rob
by
on this
changing it up.
podcast.
Come on.
There we go.
At least we have 2 souls out of the 3 of us. So
Let's go.
it's fake or not fake. We got a long list to get through. We're going to kind of divvy them up and get through them. And again, much like a pair of boobs, we're only going based off of the eye test here. So fake or not fake, we'll see what happens.
Alrighty.
I was expecting a better reaction to that joke. I am ashamed in both of you.
Strictly off of eye test. Got it.
Strictly off of eye test,
Okay.
obviously. Like, you don't know numbers. Micaiah, let's start with you. Let's start with Ole Miss, probably the biggest losers, quote unquote, in the power rankings this week for how their hype train. Fake or not fake?
Yeah, lost to Kentucky. And this is what's the grading scale? Like, what are we?
Fake
Pass,
or
fail.
not fake?
Fake or not fake?
Yeah. Okay, then I'm gonna go with fake. Can't win the national title. Those suckers are high and tight. They ain't moving. They bounce around, if you know what I mean. Fake. Can't win a natty.
That's fair. That's kind of what I'm going for.
Okay, great. Simple and sweet. They'll all be that quick.
And
come on.
Sweet. You don't need to be that quick. If you have more to say, you can say more.
Fake or not fake?
That's just it. Just fake or not
Fake
fake.
or not
All right. USC. Fake or not fake?
Is that me or
Robert?
Robert?
Or is it
Sorry,
him?
Robert. I'm sorry. That's on me.
Oh, that's
Robert.
me. Right now, they are fake.
Okay.
Fake or not fake?
That
Dude,
I
we got a lot of
appreciate-
teams to get through.
I know we got a lot of fit. I need a little bit. Like 3 sentences.
You're not going to let me and Micaiah go at each other, and you're just like, hey, we got a lot of stuff to get over. I got to get through all these teams. Well, brother, let's churn them out.
Listen. Your guys' argument had devolved to the point where you weren't making any new points, and therefore it was no longer entertaining.
Well, that's just me and Robert arguing all the time.
This is my job. Hello, producer here. Not
As
the
of
greatest.
right now, USC is a fake team.
And they're fake because they've devolved.
Just because they've lost to Michigan, which in reality is a pretty bad loss.
Okay.
Even though it was at Michigan, so that kind of does help them. And they need to beat Penn State, not this week, but the following week, because that's their make or break game.
Love it. That'll work.
They got punched in the mouth and didn't respond well.
So I'm going to split this. Micaiah, I'm going to give you
They kind of did.
The losers in the SEC championship game last year. Georgia.
They were winning with like 30 seconds.
Georgia is not fake. Okay, they are just the. You know what? I'm not even.
Micaiah. It was my joke. You don't have to run with it.
Yeah, but I kind of wanna. No, okay. They are the opposite of fake. They got punched in the mouth. They not only got punched in the mouth, they then turned around and tested Alabama's fortitude and punched them in the mouth. All in one game. By the way, great game to watch. If you missed that game, I really do feel bad for you because it was so lackluster in the first half. I thought this game was over. Like, I even put it in the notes, WTF, Georgia, what are you doing? And then they just come out and they just had a heart of a champion. And they made adjustments and it worked. And so I'm going to say Georgia, not fake.
It was actually a better loss for Georgia than it was a better win for Alabama.
Yeah, I would 100% agree with that. No loss is a good loss, but some losses are okay, and that's the okay loss.
Well, yeah. Robert, what you just said, yours is Alabama. Fake or not fake?
I don't think Alabama's fake. I think they're very real. I mean, they're explosive, but they definitely do have issues. They're not fake, though. They came out, they did what they're supposed to do. As in Micaiah's words, they punched Georgia in the mouth. The difference is they got caught with their pants down, and Georgia swung and swung and swung and exploited the weakness that is Alabama's secondary. And if this game is played again, Georgia more than likely is going to win that game.
Okay. I'll take it. Sorry, I'm doing all sorts of stuff
especially in Atlanta neutral site.
In producer
100%.
land. Love that. Louisville, Micaiah, fake or not fake?
Yeah, as of right now, they are fake. They walk into Notre Dame. They're mostly fake because they turn the ball over. They turned the ball over like 3-4 times, I believe, on Saturday. I didn't watch this game. I just kind of watched college football final highlights because it's on Peacock and streaming services are just making it real inconvenient to watch college football. That's all I'll say.
I got some cocks for you if you need some. I can share some cock.
Yeah, you can share some whatever. So I'm gonna say fake. Their defense ain't half bad. Passing game is not half bad, but I'm gonna say fake for right now.
Robert, I'm gonna give you the other half. We've obviously seen Notre Dame lose to Northern Illinois. Really bad loss for them. I don't know how they're ranked so high. Fake or not fake?
Notre Dame's fake. They
immediately easiest one.
Yeah, no. Their schedule does them no favors, and losing to Northern Illinois, horrible loss. No matter which way you paint that picture, it is a horrible loss. They beat Louisville, that's fine and dandy. You know what? They'll probably beat USC too. But when push comes to shove, they're like, we don't know anything about this Notre Dame team. They are the most like cloak and dagger team right now that I don't think anyone can really honestly bet on this team to cover or not cover because you don't know what team is coming out.
They lost time of possession, total yards. Rob, this is just going to your point. They lost time of possession, total yards. They had one less turnover, fewer first downs. They got outgained, out yardaged, but Louisville turned the ball over 3 times instead of 2. So I 100% agree.
They're not a good team.
No.
If they go into they're going to make the playoffs. That's these playoffs are designed to let teams like Notre Dame in and Penn State in, and they are going to they'll win their first round game because they'll play somebody who is kind of like on the border, and then they will get smacked by whoever in the second round.
Which is also basically what the playoffs are designed to do. Is Robert's dog has a conniption in the background, per usual. She's just out here vibing. She's living her best life. Micaiah, wait, did I just do? No, I didn't. Oklahoma State, fake or not fake? Bad loss.
Fakest team on the planet right now. I expected so much. They returned 21 of 22 starters, most in the country, and you just. Last week, you get dominated by Utah at home, and then you go on the road to Kansas State, and it's not even competitive. They allow almost 600 yards of offense, 23 first downs. They had 500 yards of offense, but 3 turnovers. Like, it was ungood to say the least. Ollie Gordon has not been involved at all. That offensive line is awful. Ollie Gordon only had 76 yards on 15 carries. That's 5.1 yards a carry. They are just very fake. Yeah, and a very big disappointment.
They clearly don't listen to the podcast because, turn the ball around, hand it off to Ollie Gordon is not happening. I don't hate that at all. Another team that I wanted to, probably the biggest surprise to me, Robert, has been Kansas. Did they win even last week?
Nope, no. They lost TCU. So 38-27.
1-5 to start the season.
1-4, but yeah.
1-4, thank you. Sorry, Micaiah. 1-4 to start the season. Fake or not fake, Kansas?
Brother, they're 1-4. Like, they can't be not fake. They're 100% fake. I had them pegged as being the Big 12 champ, okay?
Yeah.
Because
most of us did.
This team, they should be, but this team is garbage. Coaching staff, garbage. Team, garbage. State, garbage. Everything. Throw it out the window. Delete off the planet. It is so bad. They are fake. They make Oklahoma State look like the most real thing on this planet right now.
Both our Big 12 champs are 0-2 in the conference, and Faker McFakersons.
So I want to maybe the ACC's wide open, but right now we're looking at a Big 12 champ with probably 1 or 2 losses. The only one currently, the 2 teams that are undefeated that are left that's played conference games are Utah and BYU. Have either of you watched a single snap
BYU's
of
not
live
undefeated.
BYU? Oh, they're not?
Or Utah's not. No, Utah lost.
That's right. Utah lost.
Arizona beat them.
Yep.
I was about to get to
Remember
them.
when I said that was going to be a good game, Micaiah?
What, Utah, Arizona?
Arizona, yeah.
Oh.
Because no one can watch it because it's at 10:30 at night.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, that is a point, but let's go out. Have either of you watched a single live snap of BYU football? You guys watch way more college football than
I did. No, that was the other purple team. Who did they play this week?
Well, BYU isn't even a purple
They played
team.
Baylor.
I did watch a few. Yeah, like that game was 21-0 in a blink of an eye. Baylor actually came back, made it close. BYU's got a decent team. Their quarterback, Reslav. I don't even know his first name. Jake Reslav.
Oh, this is BY.
Oh,
Jew.
Yeah.
BY Jew. Yeah, I'll say it. It's not racist. He's Jewish.
They're 5-0, 2-0 in the conference. The one thing that does scare me is he leads the team in both rushing and throwing. So your leading running leader can't be your quarterback. But yeah, as of right now, I would say BYU not fake. As of right now, I like the complementary football they're playing with. They're scoring mid to high 30s a game. They just beat Baylor. They crushed Kansas State at home. Crushed Kansas State. And they beat SMU. And that win's looking better and better because SMU's 4-1. So I would say not fake as of right now.
Great. I'm glad you went there. They weren't even on my list, but I love it anyway.
I
they
just
were on your list. Yeah, sorry. Well, no, I was going to throw them on them. Robert, I'm going to give you the other half of the Holy War. Probably right now you got SMU, Utah, and BYU at the top of the Big 12. The Desert Conference, I'm going to come up with different names for them as we go along. Is Utah fake or not fake?
I think Utah's not fake. I think their team solely kind of relies on Cam Rising, though. If Cam Rising is healthy or not, that's going to play a big role in what they do. I mean, they do spread the ball out pretty decent, but what is it? Wilson.
Yeah, Isaac
Wilson. Yeah. He's definitely playing a lot more than what Cam is. So it's like Cam Rising, fake. But Utah, I think, not fake.
Why Utah lost this game? They had goal-to-go situations twice in the first half, and Arizona's defense, it was 4th and goal. They had 4th and goal twice in the first half. Did Utah? Arizona held them to 0 points on 2 straight trips. Utah had no problem moving the ball. So, Robert, I like that. I like that a lot. Don't let a loss fool you. What type of loss was it?
SMU almost lost to Nevada. That's what I was remembering from week 1. I got their loss incorrect. I'm not going to do SMU. We're going to probably cover them a little bit later. I want to see them develop a little bit more. Someone who I've talked high praises on, Makai, we're going to go down to you, is the Robert Bainbridges, the Miami Hurricanes, currently undefeated.
Yep.
Look really good right now, at least on offense. But it's Miami, fake or not fake. I mean, I know there's a lot of fake things in Miami, but is the Miami Hurricanes football team fake or not fake?
Come on. I'm gonna go with not. I'm gonna go with not fake. As my alarm goes off, I apologize, everyone. I'm gonna go not fake. The thing Miami has to be on the lookout for is Cam Ward likes to fumble and he likes to throw interceptions, despite his lackadaisical kind of nature. So they outgained, out time of possession, out first down Virginia Tech, but then they had 3 turnovers, 2 fumbles, or 2 interceptions, and a fumble by Cam Ward. And it came down to the refs replay overturning a Hail Mary. Was it the right call? Yes. However, on replay, it was not indisputable, so Miami got a break. But I'm going to say not fake. That offense is good. Defense always worries me because defense likes to give up points. They're not so kind of hard and fast, but I will say not fake.
I saw that Hail Mary play. The ball was out, so I don't know what anybody else, but that's what I saw. It looked pretty disputable to me.
Well, they ruled it touchdown on the field, and there was not a good camera angle in all of the replays that showed possession or not possession. So
we also talk about the fact that they're going to Cal for game day.
First time ever.
Yeah, for a 10:30 p.m. kickoff.
Yeah.
So
right.
here's my question. First of all, 10:30 p.m. kickoff.
Does that count as a game no one will watch?
Yes. Who are they playing?
On the East Coast, they're playing Miami. On the East Coast, yes, no one will watch that game because they'll be asleep.
Here's the funny thing, okay? Cal is such. I wouldn't be surprised if there are protesters at that game for something because of how politically active Cal students are.
I saw a meme and it says "Welcome to College Game Day" and it's like Pat McAfee. Welcome to College Game Day. We're sponsored by fentanyl and homelessness.
Oh, are they coming to Philly?
Nice, very nice.
Let's go.
And that's the bottom line because Stone Cold says so.
Is Cal upset Auburn though? Correct? I'm remembering this correctly.
Yeah, they turned.
Okay, that game was. Peyton Thorne is the worst quarterback I have ever watched.
Robert, put your microphone in front of your mouth.
Peyton Thorne is the worst quarterback I have ever watched. Like, that game was so bad.
There are two teams that lead. There are two teams that are the top two teams that lead in the nation in interceptions are Cal,
nice,
and Miami.
Peyton Thorne.
Oh, surprise!
And no, that like their defense in like getting interceptions.
Okay.
People from Berkeley good at stealing things. Who would have thought? Let's go stay in the ACC. It's my team who's doing much better than I did last year on All-American in the Dynasty League.
Got a big-time dub, though, last night.
Got a big-time dub against FSU last night.
Only took some coaching.
Did have to call Micaiah in for some offensive coordinator help a little bit. Just some reassurance, some confidence thing. Robert, this is yours. It's Clemson, right? Fake or not fake?
I'm going to say they're not fake. The reason I'm saying they're not fake is because their loss was to Georgia, which in the first half, that was a very tight game, and Georgia turned it up in the second half. Now, you cycle back, Georgia-Alabama, Georgia was flat in the first half, turned it way up second half. So Georgia just might be a second half team. But since then, Clemson's kind of figured out their offense a little bit here. And they got to play at Florida State. No DJ for Florida State. So Florida State might actually win this game.
Yeah. You might want to take the Florida State points there.
And Clemson's schedule is very favorable for them. Next toughest game's home against Louisville. So I don't think they're fake right now.
It's a great point.
So not fake. Micaiah, do you agree with that?
No, yeah, I was going to bring up the schedule. Schedule's super easy right now.
Yeah.
Robert made a great point there. Louisville, and then to end the year with South Carolina, like those are their two hardest remaining games on paper.
Softer than your mom after eating a bag of ho-hos. Let's go to some smaller teams that I really like. What did you just say?
I said, God, I love ho-hos.
I'm a kind of a Swiss roll guy myself, if I'm being honest.
Swiss rolls, ho-hos, you put that shit in front of me, I'm going to eat it. So.
We know. We know
come
you're
on.
going to eat it, Robert.
Mr. Can't Climb Stairs.
Mr. Can't Climb Stairs.
Yo, amen, brother.
Mr. Squeaky Chair over there himself.
Yeah, buddy. You get me that chairlift.
Let's go. Micaiah has them listed as the not fake awards because I had them listed as the fake awards. Here's my question. These are some non-Power 5, non-Power 4, teams that we got going on. Well, technically, some of them aren't, but they basically are. Kirk Cignetti's first season in Indiana looking like he's just picked it up from JMU.
Well, they had 11 JMU transfers. I don't know whose turn it is, so I'm just going to go. They had 11 transfers come in with Kirk Cignetti, and their offense is clicking. They set a school record for points through the first 4 games, and that was before the 42 that they dropped. Now, their defense likes to give up a lot of points here, but Indiana, not fake, can totally be in run for the playoff. Their schedule, not that difficult until the end. Northwestern, Nebraska, that's at home. Washington, that's at home. They go on the road to Michigan State, still trying to find themselves. Michigan is one-dimensional right now, and then it's at Ohio State before they finish up with the Graham Harrell-less Purdue Boilermakers. A very favorable schedule. I'm going to say not fake has a shot.
Hey, that's an Indiana state rivalry there going on. So Makai's not fake. Robert, JMU. Makai thinks they're not fake. Do you agree with them? Him. Sorry, not them.
I am gonna go. I'm gonna play it safe. I'm gonna say they're not fake, just because their offense is playing lights out right now, but their defense is very worrisome. For JMU, they are not fake. Now, if it was JMU in a SEC conference, Big Ten conference, then it's kind of like, all right, you might be a little fake just because you're giving up a ton. But for JMU right now, I think they're not fake.
Again, they're in the Fun Belt, right? Not Conference USA. I always get that.
Right.
Yeah, I always get them confused. Dude from PA, coach from PA, came from Holy Cross or Incarnate Word.
You had it right, Holy Cross.
It was Holy Cross. It was one of the two. Doing a great job. Lost their starting quarterback. Really good quarterback last year. He transferred to North Texas. We already covered this. Ray McLeod's brother transferred out. So picking up.
Hey, yo, Ray.
Right.
Listen, Alonza Bennett III. He's excellent. 20 and 28, 280,
really
and 5
dope
touchdowns.
He's definitely riding the hype of his name down there in Harrisonburg. AB3.
He's also their leading rusher.
Yes. Well, again,
another one of those teams. Yeah, another one of those teams. Makai, let's go out west to a game that we all disrespected, and that is the UNLV running Rebs.
Pew, pew. Yeah, and their go-go offense definitely disrespected them. Their backup quarterback led them in rushing. They don't throw the ball a lot. Get a good test with Syracuse. I'm going to say not fake. Right now, that offense just keeps on clicking. Their schedule isn't that hard. Not fake for UNLV.
Robert, from the Dukes to Duke University, I forget the dude's name, quarterback, transfer in from Texas, was Quinn Ewers' backup last year. Beat UNC, so they're undefeated, kind of sneaking under there in the ACC. Fake or not fake for Duke?
Let's not forget that it's still Duke. But right now, they're not fake. I mean, yeah, they beat North Carolina. It was a 1-point win over North Carolina, but we've said last week that North Carolina is just – I don't think that North Carolina is a good team. But as of right now, you're 5-0. You're not fake. Unless you drop this one to Georgia Tech, at Georgia Tech, and if you lose to Florida State, those 2 games, you got your fakeness on the line.
Dude, if you're a team that loses to Florida State right now, you need to rethink your life. Possibly jump off the nearest bridge. Going on. Micaiah, we're going to out to you out west again. Mountain West, soon to be Pac-12 team. Boise State.
I'm gonna say they are fake. Ashton Jeanty, though, should be tops in the Heisman. He has almost 900 yards in 4 games and 15 touchdowns. Video game-like numbers for Ashton Jeanty. They're a little too one-dimensional right now. So I'm going to say fake for BYU.
Interesting. So was Michigan last year, and they won the Natty. Not saying Boise State can win the Natty, but you never know. Guys can put it together out west there. Robert, last team we're going to do here, and Micaiah gave you a doozy. It is the Navy midshipman.
Okay. So, Navy right now does not look fake. But we still have to remember that it is still Navy. And Navy can go undefeated, and it kind of doesn't mean anything in that aspect. But right now, they're playing good ball. It's just one of those deals where it's Navy, man.
This is a team that put up 56 on Memphis and 41 on UAB. Who is this team, and what have you done with the academy?
Well, here's what they did. They got away from the triple option, which, that hurts a little bit because I love the triple option. But I mean that's what they needed to do. They needed to get away from the triple option, and they're actually playing, like, throwing the ball a little more, getting out in space, being a little more unpredictable. They got Air Force this weekend.
They
so
do.
We'll find out.
Air Force is
game.
1-3. It's on CBS and Paramount Plus at 12. Sorry, I had to cut in here. Currently, Army and Navy. Remember, for at least one of these squads, I believe it's Army. It's their first year in the American under football. They're currently top of the American, with North Texas having a loss out of conference, keeping them below. But North Texas is also undefeated. But Army and Navy have both played 3 conference games already, one way or another. So Micaiah posted a meme in the chat. If this keeps going, and they still have all conference games left, let's be honest, the Army-Navy game could not only have the American potential, which is that, do we know, is that going to be a conference game? It's not a conference game, right?
I think
Navy, it is.
I think it is, yeah.
So that's a conference game. So that could have not only conference that could be basically the glorified conference championship game. It could be a college football playoff play-in game.
Oh, no, it's not a conference game.
I thought they changed that. I thought they kept it.
Yeah, but here's the deal with this. Army-Navy could make the American Conference Championship, right?
Yeah.
And then the next week have to play again.
Mm-hmm.
Because they play after all of the championship games are done. So you could win your conference championship, lose the Army-Navy game, and be left out of a playoff based on that. How about that?
Do you think they would let that happen, though? Just because of all, like, the pageantry and everything else of the Army-Navy game?
Also, is that before or after November 5th?
It's December 14th this takes place. It's a week before the college football playoff.
Can you imagine if just everyone showed up to that game because they're undefeated? Or,
everyone shows up regardless because it's the Army-Navy game. Like,
right, but for once, it's like a huge thing. Everyone shows up.
I think Robert, to answer your question, I don't know if they would do that. Like, say
them play twice. Like, I know obviously you'd have your Army-Navy game, but part of me wonders if they would turn and say the winner of the Army-Navy game goes to the conference championship. The third place team would go.
But that's the thing. The winner of Army-Navy, that game takes place after the conference championship.
It's a non-conference game.
It's a non-conference game.
Yeah.
But
conference opponent.
say they're both undefeated and they just met the previous week.
It's a true rivalry.
So say Navy beats Army the previous week for the championship, right? And then they play the next week and Army beats Navy. Now what does the committee do?
Well, here's also the other thing is neither of these team schedules are strong enough to really, I think, get them high enough ranked.
That's fair.
So that it could be one of those scenarios where you have like they have one.
It depends on
like
Boise
Navy's.
State. does.
Well, Boise State or UNLV, but like Navy
And technically
and Army, I think their only ranked game is against
Notre Dame. They both have Notre Dame
towards the end of the season. So it's like,
boy, would I love if they both beat Notre Dame. I would love that
Yeah.
so much.
I mean, there's a lot. Those two teams would need a lot to happen, like a continuous rotation out of the top 20. Like you're not your top, but 20 to 25 just need to keep losing.
Yeah.
Where it's like the committee has to look at it and say,
Boise State, UNLV, and Notre Dame would have to lose a lot of games.
And remember, the Sunday after championship weekend, the final rankings come out.
Yeah.
So does the committee, if Navy Army are in consideration, do they have to pause it another week, or are they just going to say that game doesn't really matter?
Listen,
in terms of the rankings?
It's week 5. Let's revisit in a month and see if we're still having this conversation. I love this, and I hope it happens because I love chaos, and this is the most chaos of all chaosy things that could happen. But we got a lot of conference play to get into as we're now.
I hope they both go undefeated.
Hope they. I don't think. Robert, do you disagree? I think we both hope that. I think we all hope they go undefeated.
Oh no, you want them undefeated because the Army Navy game just means more. Then
it just means more, and you know,
means more.
Yeah, F the SEC. Okay, before we get into picks. We still have to do previews. We're at 56 minutes. I didn't think about this. I'm sorry, guys.
Wow.
Luckily, Micaiah has already tucked this one away.
I can do previews for everyone in 2 minutes if you want.
You just want to rattle them off? I'm okay with that. You got them prepped and ready to go. Micaiah, go for it.
Robert, you just want me to do the fastest 2 minutes in all of sports?
Listen.
You're good at doing fast 2 minutes.
Show me the bedroom technique, dog.
Okay. All right. All right, here we go. We got number 9 Missouri going to 25 Texas A&M. Somehow A&M is favored by 2, despite A&M being 116th in the nation in passing and 13th in rushing, and their defense is mid at best. Meanwhile, Missouri is 3rd in yards allowed per game, 4th in passing yards allowed per game, and 7th in points allowed per game. Their offense is 19th, their passing is 37th, and their rushing is 25th. I think we all know how this is going to go probably for Missouri. They just seem better to me on paper. You guys might not think that this is a big game, but it is, and it's the Orange going out to Sin City, and that would be Las Vegas UNLV.
Well,
Simeon.
Sorry, I'm going to, at the end, let me know, and I'll give the information. I know I'm ruining your flow here. Missouri, 12 p.m. on ABC. That game is in Kyle Field. Go ahead, Orange.
Okay. Excellent. So Orange are going out to Sin City to take on now the number 25 ranked UNLV. Yes, as Simeon mentioned, there are 2 25 ranked teams. So there are 26 teams ranked total. UNLV lost Matthew Sluka. It didn't matter. They just beat the brakes off of Fresno State, and I didn't think that was going to happen. The Rebs, though, are 6th in the nation in rushing. Their defense is 11th in total yards allowed, 34th in total yards allowed per game. They don't throw the ball very well. They're like 125th in throwing, so they're a rush offense mostly. The Orange are 3rd in the nation in passing. Hey, shocker, Kyle McCord's actually a good quarterback, but 112th in rushing, so they're not balanced at all. Syracuse defense is the definition of mid. They're 63rd in points allowed, 65th in total yards allowed, and 64th in rushing yards allowed per game. Simeon, your thing?
You can find that game on FS1 on Friday at 9 p.m.
Another good game that isn't ranked on rank. Not a lot of ranked on ranks, but if you know the story behind them, they're very interesting. The number 12 Ole Miss Rebels are going to South Carolina and for some cock time. Let's go. Ole Miss is 2nd in passing, 18th in rushing, 1st in total yards per game. Their defense is 5th in points allowed, 13 in points in yards allowed per game, and 2nd in total rushing allowed per game. Here's the kicker, though. They did all of that against Cupcakes, and then they got smacked in the face against Kentucky and couldn't rebound because their field goal kicker sucks. That's right. You heard me, Pat McAfee. Meanwhile, South Carolina sucks at passing. They're 107th in passing yards, but they're pretty good in rushing. They're 40th. Their defense is their calling card, 30th in points allowed per game, 14th in yards allowed per game, and 22nd in passing yards allowed per game. So what Ole Miss does well, South Carolina defends well. Simeon, where can we find that?
That game is 3:30 on Saturday on ESPN in Charleston.
Robert, everyone knew about the Harry Potter thing, or at least in my house we did. Yeah. They announced that like 2 years ago.
Yeah, well, I guess it's like official now.
Oh, I see. Yeah. They my wife told me they've been doing casting calls over in London.
Yeah. Well, now they got like their own logo and stuff.
Oh, their own logo and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, the TV series finally has their own logo and all
Hi,
that.
Carrie!
She can't hear you.
Yeah, well, you can at least relay the message.
All right, Robert says hi. She says hi back.
You know, I felt bad for derailing your flow. Now I don't anymore.
Okay, so a very, very interesting conference-defining game is the Rutgers Scarlet Knights going to Lincoln to take on Nebraska. Rutgers is 2021 Michigan. Great in rushing. They're 12th in rushing yards per game, but they're 97th in passing. They're 30th in points per game. Their defense, not bad. Top 30, 29th in points allowed per game, 22nd in total yards, and 20th in total points allowed on the season. Nebraska's just kind of hanging out. 44th in passing with Patrick Mahomes 2.0, 87th in rushing, and 62nd in points per game. Their defense, though, calling card. 9th in points allowed per game, 19th in yards allowed per game, and 15th in rushing yards allowed per game. So what Nebraska defends well, Rutgers wants to do a lot. We'll see how that goes on Saturday night, I think.
Rutgers running back is averaging 6 yards a carry.
Kyle
right
Monangai.
Kyle Monangai. He's a fun guy. You can find that game. You can go to that game for $50. You can find that game on FS1 at 4 p.m.
And finally, the SMU Mustangs, they lost week 0. Everyone wrote them off. Well, since then, they've ripped off 4 straight, and they are taking on a Louisville team that just lost to Notre Dame. What?
They didn't lose week 0. That was my mistake.
Oh, I definitely thought. Oh, no, they came back, and they barely.
Came back. They were going to lose to Nevada.
Okay, but then they lost week 1. So still, they ripped off 3 straight.
Week 2, but yeah, continue.
An air raid offense is only 84th in passing, but here's the kicker. SMU can run the football. Bet Rob didn't know that. They're 27th in rushing and 18th in total rushing yards allowed through the entire season. They're 13th in points per game, also scoring over 40 points a game. Their defense, though, 51st in points allowed per game, 24th in total rushing allowed, and 15th in rushing yards allowed per game, but they're 80th in passing yards allowed per game. And why is that significant? Because Louisville is 23rd in passing a game, 55th in rushing, and 20th in points per game. And Louisville has a defense, 26th in points allowed per game, 16th in total yards, 22nd in rushing, and 33rd in total passing yards allowed per game. A little more than 2 minutes, but
I'll take it. That game is a noon kickoff on ESPN. That is in L&N Federal Credit Union Stadium. I think that game is in Dallas, if I'm not mistaken, in SMU. Before we get to picks, we always like to give you the stuff you don't care about. Most expensive. There is Thursday night football. For those of you keeping track, it is one of the most cheap. It's 2 of the most cheapest games you can get this weekend, quote unquote. $6 and $11. $6 is the Texas State at Troy. So you can go to Alabama and watch FBS college football for $6. However, that is not the cheapest ticket. What takes the cake is near Berkeley, but it is not Berkeley. It is Stanford, California, where the Virginia Tech Hokies are traveling out there at 3:30 on the ACC network to take on Stanford. You can watch that game for a mere $5. A crisp Abraham Lincoln. Robert, do you have the most expensive ticket for us?
Oh, brother, do I ever. You will never guess who the most expensive ticket is because it is Indiana at Northwestern.
Get out of here.
$137.
Shut up.
But that has to be because there's not as much seating.
Yeah.
correct.
And you
it's
have a ranked team coming to town.
A red hot ranked team.
tied with Auburn and Georgia at Georgia.
That is only 132.
Oh, mine is saying 134, so it must have gone down in price. Another expensive ticket, Alabama at Vanderbilt at First Bank Stadium in Nashville, 116. That game's on the
Which
SEC
game's closer?
Network.
Rob, which game's closer between those two? Bama, Georgia, or Bama, Vanderbilt, Georgia, Auburn. Which game's closer?
Bama, Vanderbilt, probably.
Okay.
Vanderbilt's a lot better than what Peyton Thorne is. Dude, he's bad.
He's
Indiana's
so
only
trash.
Indiana's only getting 13.5 points against Northwestern.
You can't even beat Oklahoma.
I'm mad at that. The games that no one will watch on True TV this week is Nevada at San Jose State. We didn't do this last week, and I have way too much fun.
Oh, it's on Max too. Nice.
Yeah.
It's also on Max as well.
Dude,
FS2 has Boise State.
Did you guys see that Tom Brennan is back calling plays for the CW network?
Who is Todd Brennan?
Tom Brennan, he's the one who said that like racial slur right before Thomas Castellanos hit that home run and it became a meme.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So every time Thomas Castellanos hits a home run, something bad happens.
Oh, yeah, because he's the one who said, I'll never put on this headset again.
Yeah.
And now he put on a different one.
Yeah, he's back for the CW network after like a 3
Great.
years hiatus.
I'm trying to find. I was trying to find what slur he said. I'm not gonna lie. I'm that type of guy. All right, let's make our predictions. I wasn't gonna say the slur. I just wanted to
good.
know
I'm glad.
I just wanted to know what slur he
You
said.
just want to know what it was.
I'm not confident that you wouldn't.
Listen. Okay, first of all, hurtful. Second of all, I don't want to cause the train wreck, but I want to watch a good train wreck. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. You don't want to put oil on the tracks, but you'll watch it when it slides off.
For sure. I love it. All right. Robert, who you got? Missouri at number 25.
A&M.
A&M, thank you.
So give me Mizzou.
Yeah, this is my upset. I don't know how A&M. Someone knows something I don't know, but give me Mizzou as well.
I'm going to do Mizzou. However, don't be surprised if there's an upset there because we're still not sure who Missouri is. SMU at 22, Louisville.
Oh, sorry. My bad.
Give me Louisville.
Oh, he didn't even say
Louisville does and defends at what SMU likes to do and attacks them in ways that they don't want to be attacked defensively. So give me Louisville at home coming off of a loss.
Dude, I had him. I'm going to take him. No reason why not to. SMU upsetting Louisville. Just because, Also, he said a homophobic slur, so we all know what that means. I thought he said the N-word, not going to lie. One's much less forgivable than the other in my head, but that's just me. Rutgers at Nebraska. Robert.
I'm going to go with Nebraska, even though Rutgers is playing good football right now.
Same. Nebraska's rushing defense stymies Kyle Monangai enough. Close win.
I got to give Rutgers credit for the turnaround. I watched some of the game this weekend. I had a lot of the games on, but I wasn't able to watch a lot of them. Got to give Rutgers credit for where they've come as a program, but I think Notre Dame. I think Nebraska has the better athletes, and they'll get the job done as well. Number 12, Ole Miss at South Carolina, which is really bugging me where University of South Carolina is located.
Columbia, South Carolina.
Thank you. I said
yeah, I'm going to go with
earlier.
number 12 Ole Miss on the road to rebound because I don't think they're fake yet.
Micaiah believes in Lane Kiffin.
Yeah. Ole Miss. It's a pretty solid one.
I think that's fair. Again, this is one of those that don't surprise if there's technically another upset. Syracuse at UNLV. Robert.
This one I'm kind of all over with. I'm going to go with Kyle McCord. I think he's going to get a little crazy.
I agree. Now, another upset here. Syracuse, listen, I think they're going to be all jazzed up. UNLV is ranked. They are not ranked. Coach is going to get them all Fran Brown's going to get them all fired up. Syracuse takes down the running Rebs.
For how much I made fun of UNLV, well, and I switched them. I feel bad. And I made fun of Stanford, who ended up beating Syracuse, and I watched that game. I'm going to take UNLV to get the job done at home. A $41 ticket for a college football game in Allegiant Stadium. I'm going to go a difference between you guys. I know it doesn't matter, but I'm taking the running Rebs to upset the Syracuse Orange. It's not really technically an upset, but beside the point. And here we are. If I had my transition and I was good at my job, I would have had that ready, and it was, of course, turned down because I am bad at my job. Let's try this one. There it is. Let's go, baby. It is time for the locks of the week. Micaiah went 1-2. Womp, womp. Last week. Not as bad as Carey did. Not as much money. 1-4.
Still got a 5-game lead, though. Let's go.
And he is right. Micaiah does have a 5-game lead. Robert and I are both 6-9. Nice. I went 3-0, made 23 cents off of that. You're welcome, gentlemen. And we're gonna go back with it again.
Off those layups.
Oh my goodness, he's taking more layups again this week.
More layups again.
This man don't know how to live.
We'll start with the fun layup that I'm taking. That's UNLV, the money line over Syracuse. It was at 7.5. They were a 7.5 favorite, which I liked a lot better. I would have taken them minus the points. But here we are. I'm taking them at anyway. Doesn't matter. I'm taking UNLV money line. Roberto.
Well, when things just look you in the eye and say this just don't make sense, you have to go with it. Missouri, Texas A&M. Missouri is a 2-point underdog right now. Give me the Tigers +2. That's it. Missouri +2.
Okay, great.
You were going to finish.
Oh, no, it's easy. It's
Makai,
easy.
Do you want to change your pick, or do you want to keep that one?
No, I'm going to keep it because I like it so much. Okay, so I am also taking Missouri +2. So me and Robert are either living by the sword and we're dying by the sword this week. Good news for him, though. I'm better at this than he is, at least this season. Therefore, this should be a terrible sign for him because that means we're going to lose a bunch of money.
No. It's a terrible sign for you, brother, because I'm bringing you down with me. Simeon, this is your chance to the stratosphere.
Missouri +2. Let's go, Bob. Let's get those Tigers.
To the moon. Another team I'm taking to the moon. I am all aboard the Black Knights hype train. Up there in West Point. Give me Army money line against Tulsa to get the job done.
Another freaking layup.
So just one thing we got to talk about here is Miami versus Cal. Okay, Miami is a 10-point favorite over the brain bookworms of the Cal Bears. Give me the Miami Hurricanes -10, 10:30 p.m. kickoff.
Is that your game that no one's gonna watch?
No. You buckle up for the game that no one's going to watch because I found this game and I was like, oh, I am losing this 100%.
Okay, well, where I'm going to go is DJ Uiagalelei isn't starting for FSU, so they're going to score some points, and Clemson's found an offense. I don't know how this over-under is 47 in a half, but I am taking all of that over.
Yeah.
Everybody. Over 40. I think Clemson could get there on Florida State's defense by themselves, considering that SMU did just last week. So give me the over Florida State Clemson.
On the over, you're losing till you're not. It's a good pick. I love that for you. This is my fun. This is my non-layup that is also totally a layup. UCLA is coming out east to Happy Valley, and they're plus 27.5. Give me UCLA plus 27.5. I think they're going to put up some semblance of a battle, and with how bad Penn State looked, who we completely forgot to cover, sorry, in the fake, not fake, with how bad they looked against Illinois last week. I think plus 27.5 is fair for UNLV.
Dude, that's just 3 layups right in a row. That's a good pick, though. I like that.
At least it's different. I'm keeping it different. Robert, I'm going to save you for last.
All right.
Give
All right,
me yours.
So for my game that no one will watch, and that's Duke and Georgia Tech, and they can say whatever they want. None of anyone
no
is
one's
going to
watch. No one's going to watch that.
Duke and Georgia
you have the
Tech.
Blessing. No one's
Thank
gonna
you.
watch
Excellent. Here's the thing. Duke has won a bunch of overtime games, close games. They got a real good defense. Georgia State has a defense, likes to ground and pound too. The over's 54.5. Duke, I don't think, can put up half that point total, and Georgia Tech is just good enough. I think this is 28-24. This is an easy under. You're under until you're not, ladies and gentlemen. Give me the under, Duke and Georgia Tech.
I was waiting for the underdog, but then you said Duke, and it threw me off. I was like, okay. All right. Friday night.
Oh.
Friday night. Yes. 7 p.m.
Oh.
You know what? No one will tune into this because we're going to be watching high school football because it'll be way more entertaining. We got 1-3 Jacksonville State. They are on the road to the 0-4 Kennesaw State Owls. Yeah. Nobody's watching this game.
Nobody.
I don't even know if they'll videotape this game. Apparently it's going to be on, what is that, CBS Sportsnet? Yep, not watching it. Jacksonville State is a 15.5 point favorite. Why not? I'll take them. 15.5 points against Kennesaw State. This game, it's bad. It's bad. There's nothing good about this game.
Hey, Rich Rod's
But you
still
know
down
what?
there.
No one is going to watch this dumpster fire of two teams game. We got Owls and we got Gamecocks.
And another just game for you guys that no one's going to watch as I try to find where our outro music is. Dear Lord, that's not it. That's the one that we're looking for. Hey, we got another Owl Gauntlet game. Oh, that's next week. Never mind. Bye, guys. We're leaving.
You felt the animals. See ya. Rob, Kennesaw State has covered in every single game they've played in, so good luck there, bro.
Hey, they're 0-4, dog.
And they're 0-4, dog.
Jacksonville State, 1-3.
Welcome to the FBS.
However, 0-4, this is the first conference game for the two. They're Yes, it is. Well, I don't think that counts because they're 0-0 in conference. And UTSA isn't in Conference USA. So, anyway, so what I'm saying is they can be 1-4 and they can actually be in at the top of the conference. So good for them.
I mean, considering Liberty's 2-0 in the conference, but
technicalities. Nice.
Oh shit. I don't know. This team's fucking terrible. Yeah. Oh, I so hope Kennesaw State and UTEP are both winless because that is going to be my game.
That game's going to be $1 and we're all going to go to it.
Oh my God. God, that's awesome. Yeah, I can. Yeah, you can just advance it. Wait, was that you asking me to advance it? Oh, yeah. Oh. Yeah, I'll just advance it right now. Yeah. Later, boys.